permeating to the depths of your soul.
As a physician, I was fascinated by many of the aspects of the Estolian faith. I could explain much of what was taught in the faith. One of the few things that made little sense from a physiological perspective was the belief that Estolian men would be impotent if they did not marry at the age of 30. With a normal libido prior to that time, there seemed no reason why an otherwise healthy man might be unable to enjoy sexual relations. Perhaps it is the power of the mind. If a man believes he will feel no desire or sexual release at a certain point if he fails to wed, then he may convince himself he cannot know pleasure. As it is, in the 30 years I practiced as a physician in Estolia, I only ever met 2 men who failed to wed their Kaylee at the appropriate time. In one situation, the man had lost the woman he intended to marry and did not seem inclined to do more than mark time until deity called him home to Torison. The other man demonstrated little love for or belief in the faith and moved away when he was nearing his 30th birthday. As far as I know, he never married or felt desire after he left Estolia, but his contact with the leadership was terminated, so it will remain a mystery. Angelica Aguirre Mackintosh, Inscrito.
Jasmine was up early on Dominic's birthday. When she asked him if he had any plans to celebrate his birthday, he didn't respond right away. When she looked up from the text she was proofreading, she saw a wistful expression on his face.
In my culture,
He explained,
it is typical to celebrate the end of a year of life rather than the anniversary of one's birth. However, as my family are in Estolia, I have opted to forego any sort of celebration until our trip to Estolia next month.
Originally he told her they would spend the day working together on his latest chapter.
I feel as if something is not working right, and perhaps if we work together, you can help me to see what it is that I must change.
She always enjoyed waking up early and returning to his study to whatever task she left the previous day. Once he joined her that morning, he told her that it was not, after all, a good day to work together on his writing. Instead, he suggested that she continue the task of organizing his notes into some semblance of order. Over the course of the morning he seemed distracted, distant at some times, and other times unnaturally focused on her. His strange behavior continued, with long, searching, hungry looks. Just after dinner, while they were working in his study, she finally asked him.
What is it, Dominic?
He did not ignore the question or pretend she was imagining things. Instead, he came over to where she was working and sat across the table from her.
You are a very beautiful woman, Jasmine.
His voice was husky. She could feel the heat of a blush and remained silent.
You have no response?
I don't know that my looks really matter.
He said.
To me, character has always been the keenest indicator of true beauty. Perhaps that is what compelled me to comment on yours.
You're sending me mixed messages, Dominic, and I don't like it.
Her voice was sharp. She was glad she was able to express herself clearly for once. Normally she was timid about confronting behavior outside her comfort zone.
You are right, of course.
He looked like his thoughts did not give him much pleasure.
Tell me, Jasmine, what do you think of me? How have the last 6 weeks of living with me shaped your thoughts about me, not as an employer, but as a man?
She shook her head. She could not share many of her thoughts, especially the erotic fantasies that enhanced her dreams and lingered with her every morning as she woke.
As my employee, I have come to value you. You are conscientious and hardworking. You have an inquiring mind with a lively intelligence. Many of your observations about my work have inspired me. You are very pleasant in your demeanor. You dress with class and dignity. I frequently find myself jotting down notes when I think about something I want to ask you. I value your opinion. In short, you are worth much more than I am paying you. You augment my work like no other assistant I have ever had.
She had no idea what to say to any of this.
As a person, you are frank and open, treating Alondra and Helix as valuable people worthy of your time. You have an empathy that permeates to the depths of your soul. I imagine your whole life you have known people who counted themselves lucky to have you call them a friend.
She blushed as his words sank in. She did not expect to hear such praise from him. The only compliments she could think of in return were far too personal and thoroughly inappropriate.